Well, here we are. It's the start of the 2022 National Football League season. Bill Jones with young Cody Winstead. I'm in Dallas. Cody's in Philadelphia. And yes, we have arrived at the first day of the National Football League season. It was such a long, arduous journey from last year's Super Bowl to now. And here we are at the same place that we ended last season with the world champion Los Angeles Rams hosting next year's Super Bowl. No, I didn't say that. The Buffalo Bills. Here it is. We've made it, Cody.
Hello, Mr. Jones. I feel like I say this every year, but I'm going to say it again this year. I've never been more excited about a football season than this year. And this first game is going to be awesome. Rams and Bills. I just saw on NFL Network, all six NFL game day experts picked the Buffalo Bills to win the Super Bowl. That's amazing to me. What do you think about that, Bill Jones?
That's very interesting, and it's not surprising, because I look back at the draft, and you see all those mock drafts that lead up to draft night, and it seems like they all start looking the same after a while. And so as I go through my picks that we're going to make over the course of the next half hour here, I'm looking at other people and what they pick, and I'm like, everybody's picking the same people. And so it's not surprising at all that everybody's picking the Buffalo Bills to win it all. But when you look at the Buffalo Bills, what was their record last season in the regular season? They were 11-6. Okay. And so I'm sitting there going, a team that they lost to last year, the Buffalo Bills lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars last year.
There you go.
So there are one thing's for sure. There are no sure bets in the National Football League, and that's what makes it so intriguing.
I agree. And we'll tease this for the end, Bill Jones. We're going to make our Super Bowl picks at the end of this podcast. I will not be picking the Buffalo Bills. Breaking news. How about that? How about can you make the same claim?
I refuse, even though they might be on paper right now the deepest, most complete football team coming into this season. I predict that I will not predict the Buffalo Bills to win the Super Bowl at the end of this podcast.
What a prediction, Bill Jones. All right, let's get into it because we got a lot to cover on this edition of Jonesing for Football. It's our official 2022 NFL season predictions. We're hitting all the significant awards, plus the division winners, the wild cards, and like we mentioned, the Super Bowl participants. Go ahead.
Let me point out one thing. We recall last year, our picks last year. I had the Rams beating the Bengals in the Super Bowl. What did you have last year?
Rams beating the Bengals.
There you go.
Yeah, we both knocked that one out of the park. Great job by you. Bill Jones, I know you have been studying day and night for this podcast. I know that you take this very seriously, get all your picks on the record. And I was also thinking this is our 56th podcast together of Jonesing for Football. And it might be the first one that you don't know all my answers before we start the podcast. So I'm kind of looking forward to this. Let's start with the divisions, though. We'll go division by division, starting in the AFC East and those Buffalo Bills. Mr. Jones, you're not picking the Patriots again, are you?
It was a pretty good pick last year. Now, they did not win the division last year, but they did make the playoffs last year, did they not? And they had the misfortune of having to play the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay, the team that won their division. New England went 10-7 last year, but no, I'm not picking New England. And as much as I said I'm not going to predict the Buffalo Bills to win the Super Bowl this year, I will predict the Buffalo Bills to win the AFC East this year.
Yes, I'm right there with you. I've been saying it all off season. Buffalo doesn't have a weakness. They return the number one scoring and yardage defense in the NFL, plus adding Von Miller and first round corner Khair Elam tons of playmakers on the offensive end. And of course, Josh Allen is a stud. The Bills are going to win the division for the third straight year and probably the next 10 plus years. Don't you think, Bill Jones?
They just might. We shall see.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not picking wild cards right now. We're just picking division winners, and
We're going to go division by division. Yeah. Let's do the AFC North next. Who you got in the AFC North, Bill Jones?
Okay. And the other thing that we should tease for the end of the show, we're not only picking the division winners, we'll get the Super Bowl champion at the end, but we'll also have the superlatives. We'll have MVP prediction, rookies of the year, that sort of thing. Okay. All right. So my pick in the AFC North, that would be Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, who went 10-7 last year. I do believe they made the Super Bowl last year. And with the weapons that Joe Burrow has, the arsenal on that offense, I don't think there's any stopping them in the AFC North this year.
All right. I'm going the other way, Bill Jones. Give me the Baltimore Ravens. I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on the Ravens. Let me remind you, before Lamar Jackson got hurt last season, Baltimore was 8-4 and a half game out of the number 1 seed in the conference. Lamar is back. J.K. Dobbins is back. And their defense reloaded with Marcus Williams and draft picks Kyle Hamilton and Jalen Armour Davis. Don't forget about that name. I say the Ravens barely over the Bengals. All right. How about the AFC South? Where are you going?
Hey, in the AFC South, how about we pay a little tribute to the Tennessee Titans and what they've done over the last half dozen years? 12-5 last year, winning the division. 11-5 the year before. 9-7, 9-7, 9-7, 9-7. They've got 6 straight seasons of winning football in Tennessee. And so I think it is a no-brainer. I'm picking the Indianapolis Colts to win the AFC South.
I'm right there with you. You know, I love the Colts, Bill Jones. Matt Ryan, perfect fit for that Indy offense. He's got young stars, Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman, to do the heavy lifting. And I think their defense is kind of underrated. They're absolutely stacked. Could have 6 or 7 Pro Bowlers on that Colts defense alone, plus one of the easiest schedules in the league. Indy's winning 12 or 13 games, Bill Jones, and they're going to dominate the division.
And by the way, I talk about Tennessee and what they've done in recent years. How about the Colts and what they've put together? I mean, even after Andrew Luck's sudden retirement, and they've kept that thing going year after year. They were 9-8 last year, 11-5 the year before, 7-9 the year before that, and 10-6 prior to that. And so there has been a level of consistency that the Colts have maintained over the years. And now they've got a quarterback in Matt Ryan that I agree with you is one that might be able to put them over the top.
Yep. All right. How about the AFC West, Dr. Jones? And then we'll get to the AFC wild cards after that.
AFC West, and I know that this is probably not the popular pick. I assume it may not be the popular pick, but I'm going with it anyway, and that would be the Kansas City Chiefs. I understand they lost Tyreek Hill. I understand all that stuff. I look at a track record of success with a quarterback who's at the top of his game, and Andy Reid, who's still at the top of his game. And I'm picking the Kansas City Chiefs to once again rule in the AFC West.
Okay. Well, I'm going for the young dogs here, the new team on the block. I'm going for the LA Superchargers, Bill Jones. We know the division is going to be tough, but I think Justin Herbert becomes the league's next superstar. Shout out to Tom Telesco for surrounding him with a bunch of young studs, both on the outside and up front. And obviously their defense is going to be way better after finishing bottom 5 in points allowed last season. Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson, Bryce Calhoun. They join forces with Joey Bosa, Derwin James, and Asante Samuel. Give me the Bolts out west, Dr. Jones. What do you think about that?
That's a good one. And it's a popular pick. And but I still go with Kansas City. And of course, a lot of people think the Denver Broncos with Russell Wilson there might be a team that will make the run, but I go back. Kansas City, 12-5 last year, 14-2 the year before, 12-4, 12-4, 10-6. They're in a tougher division now. That West is getting tougher and tougher every year. And so I don't anticipate that kind of a record, a 14-3 type season for Kansas City. But I do think they have enough to win that division and make another long run of the playoffs.
Okay. Let's get to your AFC wild cards, Dr. Jones. Who you like?
AFC wild cards. All right. I am going to go with your Los Angeles Chargers as a wild card team.
Like it.
I am going with your Baltimore Ravens as a wild card team.
Really like it.
And because of the division they play in and those 4 wins that will put them over the top.
Don't do it.
What?
Don't do it. Don't do it. Do not say the Patriots.
No, I'm not saying the
thank
Patriots.
you.
I'm saying the Tennessee Titans.
Oh my gosh.
And what puts them over the top is the fact that they get to play 4 games against Jacksonville and Houston.
Oh,
it's like the other teams will be, because of their strength of schedule, will have a more difficult road in a more difficult time winning games. And so Tennessee will mount just enough wins to maybe finish 9-8 and slip into the playoffs at the last wild card.
The Titans are becoming the new Patriots for you, Bill Jones. You're just always giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Again, do I need to run down their track record over the last 6 years? Another winning season for Tennessee, and it will be just enough to get them into the playoffs because everyone else is knocking off everybody else in the AFC.
All right. Tennessee takes a step back this year for the record. All right.
Yes.
My AFC wild cards, I'm going with your Chiefs. Mahomes is going to make the playoffs every year if he's healthy. This year will be no different. The Cincinnati Bengals, they're going to win one of the wild cards. I love their revamped offensive line, 4 new guys up front. And you got to go with the Denver Broncos, Bill Jones. Too many aces not to be competitive against the top teams in the league. And obviously, Russ gives them a significant boost. The Broncos in the postseason, let's ride. All right. All right, let's get to the NFC, Dr. Jones. How about we start out west?
Okay, because we want to finish. We want to finish here in Dallas, right?
Correct.
So the suspense
We're building
builds.
the drama, Bill Jones. We're building
That's right.
the drama.
All right. Out west, I think that it's pretty much a no-brainer who wins that division out west of the NFC, and that would be your defending Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams.
Okay, well, I'm going with a different team. Maybe I have
no.
That's the no-brainer right there. All right, give me the 49ers going out on a limb here, taking Trey Lance and the Niners. I just think their roster is so good. Kyle Shanahan will take the pressure off of the second-year quarterback with running the football and kind of relying on that defense. Bosa, Warner are 2 of the best players in the league at their position. And they have a great insurance policy on the bench. His name is Jimmy G, Bill Jones. Give me the Niners over the Rams in the NFC West.
And I actually really like the Niners, but it's the question mark at quarterback, having not really seen Trey Lance, that makes it a no-brainer pick in the preseason for me to pick the Rams to win that division. There is a concern as we watch the Rams play the Bills tonight. And Matthew Stafford, how much work did he get in this offseason with coming off his injury? And
0.
we're going to see. Yeah, we're going to see if that has an effect with the Rams. All right, moving on. We go in the AFC South next.
Yep, NFC. Yep, NFC South. Bill Jones, go ahead.
NFC South. And I'll go with the no-brainer pick in the NFC South. And that, of course, would be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yes, sir. It's got to be the Bucks. A Brady injury is the only thing that could prevent the Bucks from winning the division. And let's just do a little PSA on behalf of Tom Brady. Led the league in passing yards and passing touchdowns last year at the age of 44. Bill Jones, this guy is a monster. He's going to be great again this year. There's a reason the Bucks are favored to win the NFC. All right, this one's probably pretty easy too, Bill Jones. What about the NFC North?
Another no-brainer pick here, even though they lost Davante Adams, they still got the two-time reigning MVP, defending MVPs, won it 4 times in his career, and that would be one Aaron Rodgers. And so the Green Bay Packers are the pick in the NFC North once again.
That's very, very obvious. I agree with you. The Packers have won 13 games, 3 straight seasons. And I know that Davante Adams exit and MBS, those guys are kind of getting some of the headlines that they're gone, but it doesn't matter. Rodgers will make it work with the receivers he's got. And let's not forget Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon are studs. So they're going to be just fine. They got plenty of offensive weapons. The Pack going to roll to a 4th straight division title. All right, here we go. We're building. Here we go. This is what we've been waiting for.
It's the main event. I'm in Dallas. I'm in Dallas. You're in Philly.
Yep.
Who wins the NFC East? Well, first off, let's take a look at the track record of these two teams. And we're discounting Washington, which, by the way, finished 7-10 last year without Chase Young. Okay. And they've got Carson Wentz, your former Philadelphia Eagle, at quarterback, young Cody.
Yeah, he's a slight upgrade there, but I'm still not picking them.
Okay. And we're discounting the rebuilding New York Giants. So it's Dallas versus Philly. All right. Let's see. Dallas last year won the division with a 12-5 record. The previous year, they were 6-10. The previous year, they were 8-8. In 2018, they won the division at 10-6. They did not make the playoffs in 2017, 9-7, and they won the division in 2016 at 13-3. They did not make the playoffs in 2015. They won the division in 2014. So let me look. Okay, they won the division in 16, 18, and 21. In between, they didn't. Then who won the division last year?
You just said the Cowboys won the division.
The Cowboys won the division last year. And when was the last time we had a repeat winner in the NFC East?
Wasn't it 04?
04. That's exactly right. And so what is the greatest gauge of future performance? It's past performance in the NFC East. And that is why the Philadelphia Eagles will win the NFC East this year, is because we just don't have repeat champions in this division.
You have no idea how happy I am to hear you say that, Bill Jones. I've been trying to persuade you since March when I predicted the Eagles were going to win the NFC East. I said it in March after free agency, and then the Eagles backed it up with an A+ draft, which included bringing in A.J. Brown. And here is my statement on the Eagles. No team improved more than Philly, and they were a playoff team last year. And so Philly retakes the division crown. You got it, with an incredibly easy schedule. That's also important. The Eagles have an incredibly easy schedule.
Well, right. and that's a great point. That is a great point. In fact, if you look at this could be the real difference maker between the Cowboys and the Eagles this year, aside from everything that you just talked about. All right, the 3 crossover games for the Cowboys as compared to the Eagles. Of course, they all play in the division. This year, they're playing outside the division. They're playing the NFC North, and over in the AFC, they're playing the AFC. What are they playing? The AFC South. Okay. So the crossover games for Dallas, because they finished in first place last year, they have 2 of those to start the season: Tampa Bay and Cincinnati. They get them at home, but those are very important games for the Cowboys, playing against Brady and the Bucks, Burrow and the Bengals right out of the gate. And then their other crossover game, it's at the LA Rams, the Super Bowl champions. All right. Compare that to who the Eagles play. And theirs are at Arizona, as well as Pittsburgh and New Orleans. So those are their three games: New Orleans, Pittsburgh, at Arizona, while Dallas is Tampa Bay, Cincinnati, and at the Rams. There's your difference in the NFC East.
I think you're right on it, Bill Jones. I think the Eagles probably go 2-1 in their games, and the Cowboys are going 0-3 in their games.
Yep. All right.
All
So
right.
we're going wild cards.
Wild cards. Go ahead. Lead us off, please.
Okay. Wild cards. Okay. I'm going with San Francisco. Okay. I really like San Francisco. I like everything about San Francisco, but I have questions about the quarterback. Kind of like Philadelphia. I like everything about Philadelphia. I got questions about the quarterback. Okay.
And by the way, the Eagles quarterback led them to the playoffs last year. So, okay.
Okay. All right. And the Niners have a backup quarterback who led them to the NFC Championship game last year. So who's still on the team.
Yep.
All right. So I've got San Francisco. I've got the Minnesota Vikings as another wild card team. And now I am left with a quandary. Who is my third wild card team in the NFC? And I am choosing between two teams, the Dallas Cowboys and the New Orleans Saints. Oh my, what am I going to do here? Oh my. Let's take a quick gander over here. As you can tell, I still haven't decided. And
there's no way Bill Jones picks the Cowboys to miss the playoffs. There's no way he's saying they missed the playoffs.
You know, and two similar teams in that they both lost their left tackle. Okay. Trevor Penning is out for the Saints. Tyron Smith is out for the Cowboys.
Yep.
You know what? And I like Dennis Allen as a head coach. I'm not sure about I like him as a defensive coordinator. I'm not sure about him as a head coach. So I like the New Orleans defense. I like the Dallas defense. So what in the world could put this over the top? Dak Prescott versus Jameis Winston? Could it be Dak Prescott versus Jameis Winston? I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys to slip into the playoffs.
Of course. How many straight years have you picked the Cowboys to make the playoffs, Bill Jones? This might be a Cal Ripken.
Let's see. I didn't pick them in 1989. I went 1-15, and I was
that surprises me.
I was still so mad that this guy from Arkansas came down and bought this team and fired Tom Landry and hired Jimmy Johnson of all people.
Oh,
and so I wasn't about to pick
the
Cowboys in 1989. And I was right. Mind you, I was right in 1989. They went 1-15.
And then wrong for the rest of the time.
All
right. I'll give you my wild cards, Bill Jones. The Rams are definitely going to make the playoffs. They added more star power. Allen Robinson and Bobby Wagner. They joined Stafford and Kupp and Donald and Ramsey. So the Rams are definitely getting in. But their schedule, oh my. One of the hardest that I recall. So that's why they're not going to win the division. They're just going to win one of the wild cards. I'm going with the New Orleans Saints as my second team, Bill Jones. I'm not a Jameis fan, but I am a fan of good football players, and the Saints have a ton of them. Kamara, Landry, Thomas, Olave, an offensive line, Cam Jordan, Marcus Davenport, Demario Davis, Marshawn Lattimore, and the Honey Badger Tyrann Mathieu. Replacing Sean Payton won't be easy, but I think they're still going to get 9 or 10 wins in a spot in the tournament. And finally, I called it last week during our bold prediction segment. The Detroit Lions are getting into the playoffs. I'm buying what Dan Campbell is selling. I love their pieces on offense, and I'm a believer in Aaron Glenn. I think he gets that defense good enough And I just hope they avoid injuries because they don't have a ton of depth there. So the Lions squeak in with 9 wins, Dr. Jones. All right.
That's interesting. Very interesting. You're a big fan of Hard Knocks, I know. And so
I'm a big fan of the Lions, and they just happen to be on Hard Knocks.
Okay.
I'm a fan of Hard Knocks, and because of that, I'm a fan of the Lions.
I think they're a year away. I think the Lions are a year away. I like what they're doing. In fact, on their offensive line, they've got 3 first-round draft picks on their offensive line in Detroit. But I also like what Minnesota is doing with their offensive line as well. So anyway,
I agree. We'll see 2 NFC North teams. We'll see which one gets in. You ready to do some awards?
All right, let's do some awards now.
Okay. How about?
And we haven't forgot our Super Bowl champion. We're going to have our Super Bowl pick at the very end. Okay.
We'll get there. We'll get
there.
All right. All right. Ready for offensive rookie of the year, Bill Jones. How about we start right there?
Offensive rookie of the year. You're going to hate my pick. You are absolutely.
Who is it? Jalen Tolbert?
You're going to absolutely hate my pick because it goes against all convention. But I'm making my pick not based on I'm not predicting who the quote unquote so-called experts think is the offensive rookie of the year and who gets the award at the end of the season. Anybody can make that pick. I am making the pick my own personal offensive rookie of the year. And this is a player that is a franchise type player, a foundational piece for the next decade with this franchise.
Can I guess?
Yes, go ahead.
Tyler Smith.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, but you're on the right track. You are on the right track.
Okay. Who is it?
My pick for the offensive rookie of the year is a center. Wait a second. What kind of impact did Creed Humphrey have on the Kansas City Chiefs last year? He is a foundational piece that will set Patrick Mahomes up in the pocket for the next decade in Kansas City, right?
I love Creed Humphrey and I love Trey Smith. They were both on our list for the draft. We love them both. And the Chiefs.
You know who my offensive rookie of the year is? He's already won the starting center job with the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's my guy, Luke Fortner is the offensive rookie of the year. You got to watch this guy. Doug Peterson is raving about this guy in Jacksonville. And I know there's analytics. There's some stats to show how an offensive lineman does. He's not going to win the offensive rookie of the year. But when we look back a decade from now at this draft class, the 3rd round pick that the Jacksonville Jaguars make, we're going to say that was one of the best draft picks in that draft. And if he played another position, he would be right up there in the running for offensive rookie of the year. You mark my words, young Cody. Luke Fortner, Jacksonville.
All right. Well, I just realized when we post this to the Twitter, I'm definitely going to tag Luke Fortner, and I guarantee he realizes that you're the only person that recommended he gets offensive rookie of the year votes.
There you go.
I'm actually happy. I hope he is good because that would mean Trevor Lawrence probably is good, and I'm all for that. All right. So now realistically, someone who might actually get votes for offensive rookie, I'm taking Breece Hall, who is the running back for the Jets. By the end of the year, everyone's going to be asking, why the hell did Breece Hall fall to the 2nd round of the draft? He's going to be the focal point of their offense, whether it's on the ground or through the air. Hall is a future star and will win offensive rookie of the year. Time for defensive rookie of the year, Bill Jones.
Let me say one thing. My 2nd and 3rd place for offensive rookie of the year will be George Pickens of the Pittsburgh Steelers and Romeo Dubs of the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, okay.
2 wide receivers.
I like both of those.
Okay. I'm glad it meets your approval.
Thank you. All right. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Where are you heading?
You know where I'm headed.
I'm guessing.
You know.
I'm guessing another third rounder, Bill Jones.
Yes, that's right. It's another third rounder. And he plays for your Indianapolis Colts. He's won the starting safety job as announced this week. That would be the man from Maryland, the youngest player in the National Football League. Happy birthday, Nick Cross of the Indianapolis Colts, who turns 21 on Saturday, the day before he makes his debut for the Colts in what will be a Defensive Rookie of the Year season.
That's terrific. That is hilarious, by the way. It's his birthday. Yeah, I'm with you. Nick Cross, going to be a great player. I hope he wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. I just think at that safety position, it's going to be tough. He's got to make a ton of plays and interceptions and fumbles.
He's going to have at least 5 picks, right?
Right. Exactly. And you know why? Because the real winner of the award is going to load up on numbers, and it's Aiden Hutchinson of the Detroit Lions will be the catalyst to the Lions making the playoffs. I think he's going to have probably 9 or 10 sacks this year, a ton of tackles for loss. And the Detroit Lions have a very good defensive line. You mentioned their offensive line. Their defensive line is also very solid, which is why I like the Lions. McNeil, Brockers, Harris, they'll all give Hutchinson a bunch of one-on-one opportunities, and the rookie is going to take advantage.
Yep, it's if he can beat out his teammate Rodrigo for the Defensive Rookie of the Year award. Malcolm Rodriguez, the
That's true.
6th round pick of the Lions.
They may have the top 2 vote getters in Defensive Rookie of the Year.
They'll have the 2nd and 3rd place finishers behind Nick Cross.
That's fine. I'd be happy with any of them. All right. You want to do Defensive Player of the Year, Bill Jones?
All right. You mentioned the Defensive Rookie of the Year. Your pick, Aiden Hutchinson, might have 9.5 or 10 sacks. The Defensive Rookie of the Year last year, how many sacks did he have? That would be one Micah Parsons. He had 13 sacks.
Okay.
So what does Micah Parsons do for an encore his 2nd year in the league? I'm thinking Micah Parsons increases that sack number. He increases his forced fumble number as well. And my pick for the NFL Defensive Player of the Year is Micah Parsons of the Dallas Cowboys. Yep. How about that?
No, that's hard to argue. I can't disagree. That's kind of what I'm most excited to watch the Cowboys this year, just because he was such a game wrecker. And I'm just interested to see how his game evolves, what wrinkles they add, what else he does. I'm fired up for that.
And here's one of the reasons why, if I could go TJ Watt, go Aaron Donald, whatever. Here's one of the reasons why I think Parsons is in position to have an even a better year this year statistically. I love the Cowboys acquisition of Anthony Barr, as long as Anthony Barr can stay healthy, because of what it does for Micah Parsons and for Dan Quinn to use Parsons in a variety of ways as an X factor on that defense to get after the quarterback and make plays, because you can now play Barr. Last year, one of the weaknesses on that Cowboys team is they didn't really have another linebacker to pair with Leighton Vander Esch. Of course, Jaron Kearse plays a lot of linebacker. A safety comes down. They go with 3 safeties a lot. But yeah, Vander Esch and Anthony Barr, even in your base defense, and you can free up Parsons to rush the passer. And they've got opportunities there with Randy Gregory moving on to Denver too. You can line him up on the edge. You can, move him around, or he comes up the middle. I think Parsons is going to have a humongous season for the Cowboys.
Yeah, it could turn into, we realize that Micah Parsons is the best pass rusher in the league. That's how this season could end. Like you said, Anthony Barr plays backer, Vander Esch plays the other backer, and Micah Parsons just rushes basically every snap. We might find out that he's the best pass rusher in the league. All right. I'm going with Nick Bosa, the super freak from the 49ers, D-end, 15 and a half sacks last year, fourth most in the league. He also led the league in tackles for loss, and the Niners need him to be dominant until Trey Lance kind of gets his footing. I think Bosa is going to go big in year 4. By the way, Nick Bosa, entering his 4th year in the league. He's only 24 years old, Bill Jones. Amazing. I think he is going to take home the hardware for Defensive Player of the Year. And all right, here we go. The big one, the big award, MVP. Mr.
MVP.
Jones, I have no idea where.
Well, let's look at the history of the MVP award going back the last decade. Okay. Rodgers won it in 21. Rodgers won it in 20. Lamar Jackson won it in 19. Patrick Mahomes, 18. Tom Brady in 17. Matt Ryan in 16. Cam Newton in 15. Rodgers won it in 14. Peyton Manning won it in 13. The last time a non-quarterback won the MVP award was 10 years ago, 2012, and that would be the Oklahoma Sooner, Adrian Peterson. All right, so we can narrow it down to a quarterback, can we not?
I would agree.
All right. And Aaron Rodgers last year completed 69% of his passes for 4,115 yards in 16 games. His team went 13-3, 7.7 yards an attempt, only 4 picks and 37 touchdowns, and he was sacked 30 times with a rating of 111.9. My pick for MVP this year, last year, he completed 70.4% of his passes for 4,600 yards, 8.9 yards per attempt. He had 14 picks and 34 touchdown passes, but he was sacked 51 times last year in the regular season. His rating was 108.3, just behind Rodgers at 111.9, despite those picks. And he led his team to the Super Bowl last year. Joe Burrow of the Cincinnati Bengals is my pick for National Football League Most Valuable Player this year.
I really like that. I think it makes a ton of sense. Burrow's going to come out slinging it. He's got a ton of weapons. And you know what? I approve of that choice, Bill Jones.
You finally approve of one of my choices.
I do. You know, I'm a big Bengals guy, Bill Jones. So that's why I do like that. By the way, Joe Burrow came back to Ohio State over the weekend for the Ohio State Notre Dame game. I thought that was interesting as being a former Buckeye. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
It is cool. All right. I'm going with a different third-year quarterback, Dr. Jones. How about that? My guy is Justin Herbert. I already said he's the NFL's next superstar. I think he's going to take a significant step forward in year 3. Can we just recognize how good this guy has been through his first 2 years? As a rookie, he went 31 touchdowns and 10 picks. Not bad at all. As a sophomore, he went 38 touchdowns and 15 interceptions. This year, I think he's going 40 plus touchdowns. Justin Herbert is going to be the most valuable player. And I have to add, because I mentioned this last week in our bold prediction segment, Matt Ryan finishes 3rd in the voting for you Colts fans. I think Matt Ryan's going to have a great year too. But I'm saying Justin Herbert wins the MVP this season.
All right. Very good. I like that pick. And then Aaron Rodgers is going to wind up winning it for the 3rd straight year.
Probably. Most likely.
All right. Is it time?
Let's do it. Super Bowl 57, Bill Jones.
Super Bowl 57.
Glendale, Arizona.
That's right. Will it be hosted by the Arizona Cardinals?
No, I've jumped off the Cardinals bandwagon, Bill Jones.
Yeah, clearly it won't be because we did not pick the Arizona Cardinals to make the playoffs. In fact, I would say their coach would be on. Will Cliff Kingsbury still be the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals when the Super Bowl is played in Glendale, Arizona? That is the question for you.
That's
very interesting. You don't have to answer it right now, but just food for thought.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So, you know what? I picked the Kansas City Chiefs to win the AFC West, the most competitive division in football, right? You'd say that would be the most competitive division?
I think so. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs to make it to the Super Bowl this year.
Wow.
I know you're shocked by that. They did lose a high dollar wide receiver in Tyreek Hill. I am tempted to follow your lead with the Philadelphia Eagles and make it a great storyline of Andy Reid versus the Philadelphia Eagles. That is very tempting.
That would be great.
But I'm not going that route. The storyline this year at the Super Bowl will be how a team can lose their top wide receiver and still go all the way. And so the storyline is it's the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Green Bay Packers in Super Bowl 57 in Glendale, Arizona.
I like that. That's funny. This offseason, everyone thinks wide receivers are the most important position on the field. And then next year, the two teams who gave up wide receivers get to the Super Bowl and everyone was like, oh, well, maybe they're not nearly as important as we thought. I like that pick.
All right. And one of the reasons I'm making this pick too, I'm just looking at track record over the last few years, and you'd be hard pressed to find two franchises that have been better over the last few years than Kansas City and Green Bay. And that has a lot to do with the quarterbacks. And so you want my winner?
Sure, please.
All right. It's been a long time since Green Bay won a Super Bowl, right?
Yep. Brett Favre.
Aaron Rodgers.
No, Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers.
And our own Mike McCarthy here in Dallas. It was won at AT&T Stadium. Okay.
I was at that game. I should have remembered that.
That's right. I'll go with the Kansas City Chiefs to beat the Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowl. How's that?
Okay. I dig it. Did you pick the Chiefs to win last year, Bill Jones?
You know, I believe I probably did. And you know why I picked the Kansas City Chiefs? Because they are the former Dallas Texans.
Oh, that's right. I think your pick last year was Chiefs over Cowboys, if I'm not mistaken.
And all Dallas Super Bowl. Yeah.
Right. That all ties together. I agree with you, Bill Jones. As long as Mahomes is there, they're going to be in the mix. And actually, I picked the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl last year too. So I'm not faulting.
Okay.
Okay. My picks. Unlike most experts, Bill Jones, I'll give you the final four, not just the final two. I'll give you the final four teams in the AFC. The Chargers are going to beat the Colts in the AFC title game. So Chargers over Colts. In the NFC, you already know which direction I'm going. I've called it for months right now. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to beat the Green Bay Packers in the NFC title game. And so we're looking at a Chargers-Eagles Super Bowl in Glendale, Arizona.
You are a big Jalen Hurts fan.
I'm a big Eagles fan, Bill Jones. They just have so many good players. It's inevitable, if you ask me. But I love the conflicting styles of this game. It's Herbert slinging it around while Philly's going to be ground and pound. In the end, the winner of Super Bowl 57 will be Justin Herbert and the LA Chargers winning their first ever Super Bowl.
All right. I love it. Very interesting.
I do too. A lot of great players on the Chargers. And so I'm all in on LA. If they can just escape the division, that's actually what I'm most worried about, is if they can escape the division, I think they're primed and ready for a postseason run. You know what? How many teams in the AFC do you think have a chance to go all the way? It's a lot. I would say Buffalo has a chance. I mean,
Buffalo has a chance. Cincinnati was there last year, so you have to say they have a chance.
For sure.
And Kansas City
Yep.
and the Chargers. There's 4 right there.
I say Baltimore.
In Baltimore, you got, if Lamar Jackson stays healthy,
Denver.
with Russell Wilson. There
Yeah.
you go. They got a chance.
Yep.
You have in the past have been a big Tua fan.
No, I say the Colts are the other team.
Okay. The Colts with Matt Ryan. And Matt Ryan's been to a Super Bowl.
Yep. So I say 7.
Okay. So how many in the NFC have a chance? Obviously the Rams, after having won it last year. San Francisco, having been right on the doorstep last year, even though they've got the young quarterback. Brady in Tampa Bay, there's 3. Green Bay and Rodgers, there's 4. And obviously you think Philadelphia.
Yep.
And
Nope. Don't say it.
And
Don't say it, Phil Jones. The Cowboys do not have a shot to make the playoffs or to make the Super Bowl.
you don't think so?
I would say 0% chance. Is that, am I
Okay.
too high with that? Am I too high with that?
You are. There's a lot of people here in Dallas who'd say you are high, Cody, saying that.
They know.
All right.
They know.
Spoken like a
They know.
true Philadelphia Eagle. All right. We're ready. We're set. We got football tonight at SoFi Stadium, which, by the way, it's going to be steaming hot in that stadium. They're trying to figure out, how do we install air conditioning here in the next 12 hours at SoFi Stadium?
Right. That's amazing. Yeah, that open air stadium, maybe not quite as good an idea as we thought.
You know what? If someone who graduated from high school, our ceremony was at Texas Stadium, deal with it. Okay.
Yep.
We went for years and years here in Texas with that kind of 100-degree heat at Texas Stadium preseason games, and we all survived it. We'll be fine.
They're not quite as tough in California though.
That's exactly right.